Hi everyone, it's Dawn. Welcome back to my channel. So I switched things around a little bit because since I've been so sick with COVID, I know you're so sick of hearing me say that. Every video I start with, since I've been so sick with COVID, I'm better. It's 3 days in a row of good energy, decent appetite. I can breathe without having like a bronchospasm. I can actually fill my lungs, and I wasn't able to do that, which was scary. And so for the past 3 days, I have been able to do that. And I don't have a lot of energy when I go up and down the stairs or when I'm running around the house. I get fatigued very easily, but I've been feeling a lot better. So I stripped my bed and I'm washing everything because I was having those fevers and sweats and all that. And so everything's being washed and my bed is usually right behind me. So I usually have the bed behind me and I have 2 windows behind my camera, which is my phone. That's what I film on. And so I don't know how the lighting is going to be is what I'm trying to say, because the light isn't behind the camera. So let's just hope for the best. I do have a ring light that's on its lowest setting, and hopefully that'll be helpful. But anyway, I was going to do a video for you today, and I'm going to be trying out a new to me foundation, powder, and concealer. The concealer isn't new to me. It's been around for a really long time, actually, all 3 of these products, and the concealer that I have has been repackaged, but it hasn't changed in formula. So I have the old packaging for the concealer, but I am doing a review of the Makeup Forever Ultra HD foundation, the setting powder, which is Ultra HD as well, and the concealer. And this was a requested video, not for this foundation per se, but I have a subscriber friend, Mandy, whose son is getting married, and she's been fooling around with makeup, trying to find makeup that will not give her flashback with the lighting and the flash photography at the wedding. And so I thought that some of us have weddings, communions, graduations, events in the springtime, and hopefully we'll be able to go to those things. And we will be looking for a good foundation that will look good in photography, and it will also look great in photos, or if you're on Zoom conference calls and things like that. So anytime I do research on the best foundation for photography, Makeup Forever always comes up, the HD from Makeup Forever. It's like a makeup artist's choice, and there's so many articles about it. I did purchase last year the Makeup Forever Ultra HD stick, and I like it very much. But some of these foundations, like the Tint Idol foundation from Lancome, has a stick and it has a liquid formula. Bobbi Brown Skin Foundation, same thing. MAC Studio Fix did until they discontinued their stick. And then the Makeup Forever Ultra HD, and I'm sure there's many other brands, but when there is a product with the same name and a different formula, it really is a different product. For example, the 2 of these, and I think it's true for the Tint Idol from Lancome and the Bobbi Brown, the stick is a thicker formula. It does sheer out nicely and you can thin it out, but you're going to get more coverage with the stick. So keep that in mind. And I can review the stick for you. I do like it a lot. It's probably my favorite foundation stick. But today I thought I would do the Makeup Forever Ultra HD foundation, and it looks like this. So it retails for $43 for 1 fluid ounce. And it does come in a plastic bottle, and you just pop off the top and you've got a nice pump under here. And I'm going to give it a little shake. It doesn't say that you need to, but I always give my foundations a little shake just to make sure all the ingredients are mixed up. and pump it onto my hand. And this is the consistency. It's a runny kind of serum consistency, which I'm discovering is my favorite consistency. I fell in love recently with the Bobbi Brown Skin Foundation, and this reminds me a lot of that foundation. So I just pick it up with a beauty blender sponge. It does have hyaluronic acid in it. So whenever there's hyaluronic acid, I don't know, I always like to have a little bit of moisture. I have tried wearing this with a primer beneath it. I used the Laura Mercier primer, the blurring one, and that was really good, but I don't feel that you need to wear a primer beneath this one. At least I don't. I do have a combination skin type, normal around the edges, a little bit oily in the T-zone, just a little bit. I was always very oily when I was younger, but now that I'm older, I don't get quite as oily, but my skin does lean more oily than dry. So there's that. And this is for all skin types, normal, dry, combo, oily. Like I said, it has hyaluronic acid in it, and it has a smart adaptive pigments that are supposed to adapt to your skin tone. It does come in 50 shades. So this is one that you'll want to get color matched. I find that whenever there's a very broad shade range, it's best to do that because they always have those subtle differences in undertones where one might be a little too yellow, one might be a little too pink, one might be a little too peach. And strangely, with this one, I was able to color match it my very own self. I'll link my color, I'll link the product, and then I'll type out my color next to it so you'll know what I wear. But I did have the sales rep at Sephora double check my color match to make sure that I matched it properly. And I did. I was very surprised because whenever there's a lot of colors like this, I'm always off. You know, they always find one that's a little bit better. And I will say that at my Sephora, the ladies that color match me always do such a great job. I mean, they get it so spot on. Sometimes I'll come up to them, like I always try it myself first, and then I'll go up to them and say, can you just double check? And they'll go over to the rack and they'll pick maybe one or two more, and then they'll put them on that little plastic thing they do and ask if they can put it on my forehead and right here and a little on my neck, and they color match. And they do such a good job. Most of the time I'm off, but they'll say, you did a good job, but this one I think is a little bit better. Here, take a look. And I always agree with them, and I'm so glad that I asked. But this one, I was able to do it myself. I'm actually the second to lightest, which is what I typically am in foundations that don't have a broad shade range. So it does give you a very light coverage that can be built up to a medium coverage, and it's undetectable skin-like finish. Now, I always like to read reviews to see what commonalities there are for people who don't like a product and people who do like it. And this is a crowd pleaser. A lot of people really like this foundation, no matter where I've checked. And I check lots of different places, lots of different stores that sell it. Ulta, Sephora, the Makeup Forever website. I'm always a little leery on the store's website. I take those with a grain of salt. But when I go to like neutral places like a department store or Sephora or Ulta, and then I kind of weed out the ones that say it was given in a promotion. Anyway, you don't need to know my process, but I do try very hard to see what people say. And I did. The only common negative one that I saw more than like 3 or 4 times was in young women who have a very oily skin type. They felt that it was too hydrating for them. And I think that makes sense. I think that as my 20-something-year-old self, I would not have liked it. I definitely needed more matte foundations back then because I had very oily skin. Women who are older tend to really like it a lot. I only read 2 people say that it oxidizes. I don't find that it oxidizes at all. So it was 2 people, and strangely, they both, you have to describe your skin type, they both had a medium olive skin type. So that's something to consider. It was only a couple of people, but maybe the colors for the medium to olive skin does oxidize more. I don't know. So that was another common review. So this is after just like one go around with a little more in my problem area. Honestly, guys, I think I like this better without a primer beneath it. When I used my blurring primer, I don't know, I didn't like it as much. I don't know what it was I didn't like about it, but I didn't like it as much. Now, if you're using an HD product because you're taking photos with flash photography, you're going to an event, don't wear SPF beneath the product because SPF can create that flashback. So keep that in mind. That is probably the only time I would ever say don't wear SPF. But other than that, always wear SPF. If you're going to an event with flash photography and you don't want that flashback, it's recommended that you only wear matte eyeshadows and matte products on your face. So that's what I'm going to do. I do have a little palette that I absolutely love, and you can find it from third-party sellers and random places online. And it's a palette from Stila. I got mine at TJ Maxx, and it was a while ago, but it's the Soul palette. And this is what it looks like. I just love the colors. It has some really pretty mattes, and it does have some shimmers, but today I'm gonna focus on the mattes. I'm just gonna put a little MAC paint pot on my eyes for my eyelid primer. It feels so good to put makeup on. This is the 3rd day since I've been sick. I really enjoy putting makeup on every day. I don't know what it is about the process. It's the way that I feel creative. I don't know, I feel creative in other ways too, but I just really enjoy the process of putting on makeup and having that part of my routine every day. And when I wake up and I'm sick and I don't want to even get dressed, I was just really, like, I just knew that I needed to take care of myself. It was my only choice. So I'm gonna go ahead and put on this matte cream shade right here, all over my mobile lid. The other thing I noticed is that, you know, some people lose their sense of taste and smell, and I kept saying that I didn't. You know, JD kept asking me, my husband kept asking me, my daughters, and I kept saying, no, I still can taste things. I still can smell things. But one thing I did notice just yesterday is that my sense of taste and smell is off. I can still taste and I can still smell, but it's not right. It's so strange. Okay, now I'm gonna go in with this kind of peachy shade right here. And it's so pretty. I'm just gonna use that in my crease and just kind of go down like this. This is something I've been trying because my eyelids are so deep set. When I put on my makeup, everything falls back into my face and you can't really see my eyeshadow, even though I love to wear it. That if I put a little bit like this, kind of lifting up that like kind of outer V that people do up to the tail of my brow, that you can still see my shadow even when I'm looking straight at you. I don't know why I never thought of this sooner. I was watching Beauty by Lisa 101 and she did a lifting tutorial, and this is something she did. She said it's the way she always puts on her eyeshadow, and I thought, yes, that is a good trick. That is a good trick. So that's what I've been doing. I watched that probably 3 weeks ago. Whenever she put it up, it was recent, and I didn't have a lot of time to practice with it because then I got so sick. The thing that I noticed, so yesterday we have this new restaurant called Teriyaki Madness. Do you have that where you live? It's like just everything's teriyaki. They make these bowls and things like that, and everything they make has teriyaki sauce on it. So my husband and I went there yesterday for lunch. It was my first day out. Now I'm just gonna take this brownish shade right here. It's another matte, and just put it on the same brush. As you can see, I'm just using like the same brush for everything today, and just tapping this or packing it into the outer corner right here. It's a nice, rich brown shade. You can find these shades in other palettes very easily, I think. This is a beautiful palette, and I'm so happy that I have it. I don't show it too often because I got it at TJ Maxx, and it's one of those hit or miss kind of things. Either it's there or it's not. I did look before I made this video. I was like, should I share that palette or not? But I thought, you know what? I love that palette. You can get the colors in other palettes, and you can still find this palette, and you can find it at a discount at like other like places. So I will put the name of the palette, and I don't know, I'm reluctant to link anything that's not like I don't want to link Poshmark or places like that, because I don't know if the seller is going to be a reputable seller. So I'll let you do that, but I'll figure out the name. And you know, I haven't bought makeup on Poshmark, but I know people who have and who have had really good luck. I've also heard people have bad luck. So, you know, always proceed with caution. A lot of times if you find a seller that you trust, then you know, and you can clean these palettes if they're used. You can spray them with alcohol and all that. Although, given the climate we're in with the illnesses going around, I don't think I would purchase used makeup, period. Although some of you are so sweet, and you let me send you my skincare and stuff that I'm not using. But honestly, I don't know anyone who's tidier than I am. I am super neat and tidy, and I try to keep everything very, very clean. I wash my hands all the time. Not that that matters, but you know, it's like, I guess we are friends. Like those of you who know me and I know you, and we kind of know, like if one of my girlfriends was going to send me something or give me something, I'd be fine with that. JD and I exchange things all the time. You know, it's like when you just know someone and you feel comfortable with it. So anyway, we went to Teriyaki Madness, and everything was delicious. I had like this little bowl that had teriyaki steak in it, and it had vegetables and some rice, and it was really good. And then I didn't finish it. I didn't, you know, it tasted good. I didn't know what it should taste like because it was our first time there, but I tasted like teriyaki and it tasted good. And, but the smell stayed with me all day long, and it got offensive as the day went on. So like, I felt like it was like in my nasal passages, and I kept smelling it, and it didn't smell good. And then it kind of grossed me out. And then, my poor husband, he was laying in bed with me last night, and we were watching something, and he also obviously ate there with me, and I could smell it on him. You know, he brushed his teeth and everything, and I know it's my mind kind of playing tricks on me, but I kept smelling it. I didn't say anything because I didn't want to be rude. There are times when I am rude and I say something, but I didn't want to be rude. He's been so sweet to me since I've been sick, getting me everything I need and running to the store. My friend Voila on here told me to get honey lemon cough drops. I'm looking for my the right eyeliner. So I told my husband, and he went right to Walgreens. I said, if you go to Walgreens, will you get these for me? And he went to Walgreens just to get them for me. So he's been very sweet. He said he was actually really worried about me for a while. And it's not like him to worry about that kind of stuff. But he's like, you were not, he's like, when you took a turn for the worse, you know, when I got better and then I got worse again, he got worried about it. Okay, so I have the MAC Technical eyeliner, and I'm gonna line my waterline and tightline, and I'm just gonna do that quickly without doing it on camera. I know sometimes I do, but I know some beauty channels don't do it because people say it kind of grosses them out. So I wanna be sensitive in case it does. So I'm just gonna put this on and I'll be right back. I'm just gonna use my two favorite brow products. They're both from Glossier, the Brow Flick and the Boy Brow. Excuse me. And I'm gonna just give the brow flick a little shake and use this just to kind of fill in my brows and make them a little bit neater. I've been using the Revita brow, and it's really been doing a good job of thickening up my brows. I actually had to trim them the other day. They were getting really long, like my dad's. My dad has these crazy brows. He did groom them recently. He doesn't really care, but it's so funny. We tease him a little bit about his old man eyebrows. I love my dad. I think we're really close. Okay, boy brow. I don't have a Stila mascara, and I don't know if there's one that's really good or anything, but I've been thoroughly enjoying my Clinique Chubby Lash. I'm so glad I picked this up. I forgot how good this was. It was a favorite of mine for years. When I was in my 30s, I used Clinique just about exclusively, and this was the mascara I used, and I used the Bottom Lash mascara. Excuse me. Now I don't bother with the Bottom Lash mascara, but I will tell you it's really good because it's a tubing mascara with an itty bitty little brush. So if you have your mascara smear on you a lot on your bottom lashes and you have sensitive eyes and wear contacts and all that, it would be worth a splurge for you. But this does not smear, it does not flake, it does not clump, it doesn't do anything that I don't want it to do. I put this on one day when I felt like putting makeup on one day when I was sick, and it was a day that I had lofty goals. I still wasn't feeling good. So I got up, got dressed, put on my makeup, and then I actually went back to bed for 6 more hours, slept, had fevers, and I had this on, and it looked really good at the end of the day, surprisingly. It wasn't all over my pillow or anything. I like the brush. I do have the Makeup Forever HD Concealer, and I have it in the old packaging. It has not been reformulated, although it is in a new package, and it's probably a little more user-friendly than this one. This one is a tube. I don't mind it, but it's just a squeezy tube. And this is very, very creamy, very nice. This is the second one that I've had. And when I purchased it, I really liked it a lot. So I got a backup, and then I had this kind of sitting and waiting for me to use for a very long time. And then they've repackaged it. So that's why I still have this old one. But it comes out just like your typical creamy product. And I just put it between 2 fingers like so. And I'm going to use it, like I explained in my Clinique video, creating like this little triangle of light here. I'm using it as my like highlighter and as my concealer. And it's really nice to use as a highlighter too, because it doesn't have that flashback. So you're not gonna have that flash photography flashback. You might see a little bit of dust. I have a tissue here and it's kind of dusty for whatever reason, and I can see some dust. So I put it like so. And then I just take like a concealer brush. This one is from It for Ulta that I purchased during the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty sale. I really like these brushes a lot. And I'm gonna take a little more here and put it, you know, where I have some broken capillaries. This is like my problem area. And I always have to be very careful to not accentuate my enlarged pores, uneven skin texture, or any redness or anything like that. I have to be careful in this area. So I always keep highlighter definitely away from here. So that's what that looks like. And I just kind of have that there. And now I'm gonna set it with setting powder, but what I'm gonna do is use it to bake, and I'm gonna show you how to do that. Now, baking might seem like something you would think an older woman shouldn't do, but I've watched a lot of tutorials on it, and I even got the banana powder from Ben Nye, who's the original makeup artist who came up with baking in like old Hollywood and making Hollywood makeup like so perfect. And sometimes you think, well, Hollywood makeup doesn't translate to everyday life, but this technique really does. You just have to have the right product, and it definitely needs to be like an HD product, because we've all seen those pictures of Hollywood actresses. I think there's one of Nicole Kidman around and a couple other actresses where they've had flash photography and all you see is their concealer and powder. I'll see if I can find a picture and put it there. But this one's really good, and it's yellow, and banana powder does tend to be yellow. Makeup Forever makes one. Ben Nye makes the original one. Makeup Revolution makes one. I believe NYX makes an HD one. So if you'd like to pick up an HD one that is inexpensive, NYX makes one. I do have the Makeup Forever, but mine is not in the banana shade. Mine is in vanilla. I do like the banana, but it's a little yellow for me. I feel like the vanilla is better, but anyone with a medium skin tone could definitely use, even if you are a woman of color and you have deep skin, it looks very brightening to use banana powder. I saw a picture and the model looked really good. You could see that little bit of yellow, but it was just brightening. It didn't look weird or anything like that. So what I really like about this product is it comes with this cute little sponge in this satin case. Could be silk, but I'm guessing it's satin. And then it has the top, shake it, and then it has another top that you just lift up. So your product is the perfect amount right in the lid every time. I've been wanting the Makeup Forever setting powder for a very long time, but I have so many setting powders, I just couldn't bring myself to purchase it. I think it's like $38, but I did. I decided I'm just gonna get it. I've always wanted it. It has silica in it, and setting powders that have silica in them are really good under my eyes. I feel like they look better than any other powders I use under my eyes. And e.l.f., I think it's the e.l.f. HD, has silica in it. So I did try that one. That one's a little too translucent for me. I like the color of this one better. But again, if you don't want to splurge on the Makeup Forever, try the e.l.f. It does have the silica. So what I'm going to do is just take like a fluffy brush like this one. You could take a concealer brush if you have one. Actually, I will take a concealer brush. I have this one from Eco Tools, and it's a flat top Kabuki concealer brush, and I'm just going to pick up a lot of powder like that. And what I'm going to do is just apply it to this area in kind of a thick fashion. It's going to look like too much. And you put it where you have your concealer and let it sit, and that's the baking part. And you're only going to bake where you have your concealer. You do have to be careful with the foundation you use and the powder. This won't work with just any foundation or any powder, because it can age you if you're using something very mattifying or anything that is cakey. You have to use products that won't be cakey, like the products I'm using today. Okay, so while that is sitting there, too much powder all over my under eye, I am going to use my Stila stick. I love the Stila convertible color blushes. My holy grail is from Stila. But this is a really pretty one, and it's in the color, I believe it's Gerbera. I like that it's sheer. It's not a lot of concentrated color, and I like the color of this one, and it's in the color Gerbera. The convertible compact color also, I think, has Gerbera. What, Candy? My dog Candy wants some attention. What, girl? You want to go outside? And when I showed how I use cream blush, when I did that little tutorial video recently, some of you asked me if I use the same technique with a cream stick, because in that video I used a little pot, and I do pretty much use the same technique. I'm just gonna pick it up with my finger though, You could use it to just apply right on your cheek. I do that occasionally, but I do find that sometimes I get a little too much product. And I usually like to apply this with a stippling brush because I find that it gets the best, you know, it's nice and even. But this one is very sheer and creamy. And it's very easy to do with my finger. This one is an awesome one for on the go. So if you're putting your makeup on in the car or something, or travel, and you don't want to bring a lot of brushes or anything, I would definitely recommend this. It can be used on your lips and in other places, but I find the color is not flattering on my lips. It's too sheer and too kind of bubblegum pink. I don't like it. Okay, now that I've done that, you can go do something else, like while you're baking, do your brows, do your cheeks, do whatever. I'm just gonna take a fluffy brush, and now I'm gonna brush off the excess powder. And what's great about that is I'm just gonna use that excess powder to kind of set my cream blush. I find that I like to use a balance of cream products and powder products. I don't like all cream products and I don't like all powder products, but using cream and powders together gives you kind of like that perfect texture on your skin. Whereas if I had gone in with like a matte blush, which you would use for flash photography, something matte, I feel like it would look a little cakey. I don't want too much powder. So using that, it doesn't have any shimmer to it. So using that sheer blush without any shimmer, I think it gives my cheeks like just that right nice color and a little different texture than all the powder. Just put a little bit more. For bronzer, you're not going to want to use a bronzer that has a shimmer because it's not good for flash photography. You're going to want to use something that is matte. The very best matte bronzer that I've ever used, it used to be the only bronzer I ever used, was Tarte Park Avenue Princess. And I don't think it ever comes in a shimmery formula, but this is what it looks like. Sometimes I like the leather case. This is an older one. They package it differently sometimes, so you can get Tarte Park Avenue Princess in other forms from Tarte, but it is a really pretty, cool toned matte, and it does not have a shimmer. I hope you can see that. Really pretty, cool toned brown. So I'm just going to take this brush from Luxie and I'm going to pick up my Park Avenue Princess, and I'm just going to start in the backs of my cheeks right here. Kind of just go around my head. Warm things up a little bit. I'm not going to contour. You could contour your nose with this a little bit if you wanted to. Let's pretend that we want to. I would just take a brush like this and pick up a little bit of my Park Avenue Princess and go down the sides of my nose. When you have so much makeup on and you're doing so many different things, having it all blended is very, very important, which sometimes when I'm editing a video and I look and I realize I have some foundation that's not blended in properly, or, you know, things just aren't melding together the right way. So if that is the case, I hope you can see past that. Because I never know how it's going to look until I'm finished. And now I'm just going to take this brush, it doesn't have anything on it, and just make sure everything's all blended. If you feel that you need to set your foundation, just make sure you use an HD setting powder like this one from Makeup Forever or the one from e.l.f. or NYX. I'm looking in a very magnified mirror and everything looks really good as far as I could tell. It's not cakey. Everything just looks, you know, like it looks like everything's in place. Now I'm going to decide what to do for my lips. I'm going to line my lips with a Milani lip liner in the shade French Rose. Makeup Forever, by the way, does make the best lip liners. They are waterproof And if you use them to fill in your lips and then put a gloss over them, it basically will leave your lip color on all day, and you'll just need to reapply the gloss. And they do come in many beautiful shades, but I don't have one to share with you. I've only had one in the past, and I keep saying I'm gonna buy another one, but then I end up getting like the cheapies instead. And for my lips, I'm gonna wear something long wearing. I do have to get out and run a couple of errands today. I have to go to Trader Joe's and pick my son up from swimming later, and I'm going to be making a cake tomorrow and minestrone soup, so I think I need to go to a couple different stores. So I'm going to be running around and have a mask on and off. So I'm going to wear something long wearing, and I'm going to wear this NYX product in Cash Flow, and it's one of these with a little doe foot. And I suppose if you had an event to go to, like a wedding, you would wear something probably long wearing, especially if you are going to be busy, like the mother of the groom, like my friend Mandy, and you're going to be talking to a lot of people. But what's really nice about a product like this is that you put on the long wearing product, and now it's dry. It's not going to go anywhere. And now you just take the other end of it, which is a gloss, and you reapply the gloss. And I don't find these to dry out my lips. You can eat your meal and then just reapply the gloss when you're finished. You don't have to worry about touching up the lip product as often. So now that I have my lip product on, I am not going to use any highlighter. You may have noticed that. But for flash photography, like I said, you want everything to be matte, no shimmer, not even on your lips. You can have a little bit of gloss, but you definitely don't want something shimmery that's going to give the camera that flashback. So skip the highlighter, use your lighter concealer or lighter HD powder like I did instead. And you can, like I said, use a bronzer. Just make sure it's a matte. Use a matte blush, either a cream formula or a powder formula, whatever you prefer. But I'd be careful not to use too many powder products together and have it look cakey. You need to be careful. So I hope that these tips are helpful. If you have any additional product recommendations or tips that you would share with any of us who have events coming up and we need to get our makeup looking perfect for flash photography, like my friend Mandy being the mother of the groom, let us know down in the comment section. We find the best products from each other. And I hope that this video was helpful to you. If it is, don't forget to hit like, share it with anyone who might have an event coming up who needs to have makeup that's suitable for flash photography. This will also work for Zoom conference calls, headshots, any kind of photography or videography. So I hope that this was helpful. And if it was, like I said, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe to my channel, and I hope you have a blessed and beautiful day. I'll see you next time.